Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on August 3rd, 2024. And you know what that means? It's Saturday and we're starting a brand new master topic, so I'm so glad you're with me. Don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I think the topic that I've got this week you're really going to love. But before I get into that, I want to thank you for being here. Whether you're with me at 10:38 p.m., 10:38 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Doesn't really matter. I just thank you so much for being with me. It really does make a difference. And I appreciate you guys choosing to follow me, like me. And as I said to you, we're going to hit a milestone very soon. And once we hit that, we're going to have a cake. And we're going to celebrate that on the John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur channel. That won't be here, but that'll be on the channel because that channel is very close to reaching a number and we want to celebrate that. All right, guys, so let's get right into this. So when we talk about this week's topic, all right, this week's topic, if we're to think about it in a very, let's say, a very simple manner, okay, without getting too crazy with the topic, it's very simple. It was the title that you saw in the video when we started, and that is understanding why emotional intelligence is important. And tonight's granular topic is Unlocking Success, the Power of Emotional Intelligence, Series 3, Show 32. Wow. Episode 1. So the first thing, there are different components. So tonight we're going to really just talk about them in general. And then throughout the week, we're going to get very deep into these topics. And hopefully that will get you inspired to want to start pursuing more of this yourself. All right. So the very first topic that I want to share with you, and I think it's an important one. That topic is none other than self-awareness. Self-awareness. And again, we're not going to get deep into this tonight, but I want to let you know that we're going to dive deep into self-awareness starting with tomorrow. So if we ask Merriam-Webster, because that's where I always go for my definitions, we ask Merriam-Webster, what is self-awareness? So according to Merriam-Webster, okay, self-awareness is a noun. It's an awareness of one's own personality or individuality. Okay, so that might be a little crazy. So what is our individuality? What is it? Because I know that might sound a little crazy. So individuality is a total character peculiar and to distinguishing an individual from others. So it's a noun, again, thanks to Merriam-Webster. Separate or distinct existence. Okay, so that's important. And now we understand that. So what is our personality according to Merriam-Webster? So personality is a noun. It's the quality or state of being a person, a personal existence, right? Everyone in this world is different. So self-awareness is us taking the step and the choice to understand who and what we are. And what does that mean to others? Okay, that's what self-awareness is. We're also going to talk this week about self-regulation. Self-regulation. So regulation is basically when things are in control. Okay? Self-regulation. Self-regulation. And I think people often get confused with what self-regulation is, or regulation, in general. So when we think about regulation, the best way I can describe it to you is regulation like on a valve. If you have a flow regulator on a valve, which some people have in their showers to save water and conserve, or in their kitchen faucets, or some places have this because the flow comes in very strong, like to a fire system that would put out the fire with water. Well, sometimes the pressure coming in might be too heavy, so they need to step it down so they can regulate it, right? So regulation means it could be raised or it could be lowered. So the act of regulating, okay, whether it's by a rule or by an order, executive order, things like that, or whether it's by changing a current state, right? And the state changes because we, as people, need to know when to do this. So self regulation is very key in our success. And a lot of times, if you don't understand what self regulation is, we're going to talk more about it, believe me, a lot more in depth as we get into things. That'll be on Monday night. We'll be talking about regulation and self regulation a lot more in depth. All right. So I don't want to let the cats out of the bag just yet. We're going to talk about another component of emotional intelligence, and that is motivation. Now, if you guys don't know what motivation is, that's what I do every single time I get on the show with you, right? It's the active process of motivating, according to Merriam-Webster, but it's to incentivize you. It's to drive you to want to become better, to become a better version of yourself. That's what it means when we talk about motivation. Somebody could be motivated. I can motivate you to want to change your life. Others can motivate you by you seeing a certain situation. You can motivate others by them seeing your life and how they want to be. Okay, so that's very, very important. And I think this is something that a lot of people, they wrestle with. I got to be honest, they do wrestle with it. So another component, again, there's 5 components of emotional intelligence, is empathy. Now, this is one a lot of people struggle with. Again, we're not going to get into the whole smoke and mirrors or the whole kitchen sink tonight. But I'm just kind of giving you a preview of what we're going to be talking about this whole week. I usually don't do that, but I wanted to do that this week because so that you have a baseline for what we're going to be talking about. Empathy. According to Merriam-Webster, it's the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of another. We'll talk a lot more about this, okay? The act of imagining one's ideas, feelings, or attitudes as fully inhabiting something observed, such as work of art or natural occurrence, the imaginative projection of a subjective situation, state into an object so that they can object and it appears to be infused with it. So that's what we mean by that condition, which is empathy. And we're going to talk a lot more, ladies and gentlemen, about empathy this week. Trust me, we're going to talk a lot more about empathy. But it is one of the components in the container of emotional intelligence. And I'm even going to tell you tomorrow, well, I guess I could tell you tonight. You probably want to know, so who first discovered emotional intelligence? Who do you think first discovered that? Well, it was in 1990, a psychologist, Peter Salovey and John Mayer, published their landmark article, Emotional Intelligence, in the journal Imagination, Cognition, and Personality. So the founder of emotional intelligence is Peter Salovey and John Mayer. And so we're going to dive a lot deeper into some of the things they've said and kind of help you to understand, because emotional intelligence is key to living a fulfilling life. Remember, I've talked to you before that you can live in life, right? But nobody wants to live. They want to thrive. All right. The last thing that we're going to talk about. So you've got basically tomorrow night, we're going to talk about, Sunday, we're going to talk about self-awareness. Then on Monday night, we're going to talk about self-regulation. On Tuesday night, we're going to talk about motivation. Wednesday night, we're going to talk about empathy. Thursday night, we're going to talk about social skills. And then I've got something in the bag for Friday. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to encourage you, and I'll talk more about it on on Monday to find out if your town is having a national night out. Again, I'm going to talk more about this, but national night out, you can basically go to natw.org. National Night Out. It's an annual community building uh, where their whole goal is together, we're making communities safer, more caring place to live. They're also, with this event, trying to get people to connect with first responders and other people like that, as well as senators and different people. So it's a really good thing, and it's trying to get people to understand what and who is in the community. So I think that's a very interesting thing. So you can go to the website natw.org. There's a thing that says registration. If you click on registration, you can register. It's an annual community building campaign that promotes police community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. And they're here to provide you all the information and resources needed to plan a national night out. Okay, so that's what it is. National Night Out membership is pretty straightforward. You fill out your information, and registration for National Night Out. Registration is free and required each year. Okay, so this kind of gets you into the directory and things like that. So I think that's really cool. So if you just look at the national National Night Out towns, you can go and you can look up, who's doing it. You can see if they're having it in your town. And the whole goal is to get the community, but also to get people to get off social drugs. Okay. People ask me, hey, John, why did National Night Out start? Well, it was developed as a crime prevention program that emphasizes building a partnership between the police and the community. It's an annual community building campaign that promotes police, community partnerships, and neighborhood camaraderie to make, as I said, the committee, the towns more safe. National Night Out was introduced in August of 1984 through an already established network of law enforcement agencies, neighborhood watch groups, civic groups, state and regional crime prevention associations, and volunteers across the nation. So in 1984, the introduction of NNO, National Night Out, America's Night Out Against Crime in 1984, began an effort to promote involvement in crime prevention activities, police community partnerships, neighborhood camaraderie, as I said, and send a message to criminals, letting them know that the neighborhoods are organized and fighting back. It was kind of like the new version of Neighborhood Watch. Okay. So that's a good way to think about it. National Night Out is the new version of Town Watch, in the sense. I mean, you can still have those watch groups, but it's the whole idea of getting everybody on board, getting them educated. And I think it's a neat thing. So you can literally just Google that. We'll talk more about that. So you want to know, like, so how do I know if my town is having a national, again, it's natw.org, a national night out. So you can just Google National Night Out and find out, you can just say, is my town having a national night out? Or you can click on that. So you can do 2024 National Night Out events. Okay. And you'll be greeted with a whole bunch of them. You can click on different calendars that are there. And this is really a great thing. But we'll talk more about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And a good part of becoming a success in your life, a key, is understanding that component called emotional intelligence. We're going to dive into it very deep. I may share things you don't want to hear, but you're going to learn things that if you choose to apply them, they will improve your life. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, but I will share them with you. So, guys, I hope you have a fantastic evening. Do like, love, and share all my content. I'm so grateful for all that.